is Alex Smith going to return to the NFL next year and be a starter? Then obviously we chimed in with the Bears are a place looking for a quarterback. And then as we just talked about it during the break there, Alex Smith has become this forgotten quarterback amongst this whole thing. Forgotten because of a slew of reasons, I'd assume. The amount of drama that has happened with the Washington Redskins since Alex Smith had his horrific leg injury, almost makes you forget that Alex Smith was even a quarterback for the Redskins, let alone doing well for the Redskins at quarterback with Jay Gruden. Now, you think back to the year before Alex Smith was at the Redskins and before the horrific injury at the Kansas City Chiefs, whenever he got traded away from the Chiefs or let go from the Chiefs and was sent to the Redskins, a lot of people were like, they're going to get rid of Alex Smith, this man who was called the consummate game manager, but screw all that. Every quarterback is a game manager. For the Kansas City Chiefs, he was in MVP conversations whenever he was at the end of his run there for the Kansas City Chiefs. He gets a massive deal with the Washington Redskins. He gets hurt. Now he's become this forgotten person. Just in December, he came out and said that he plans on playing in 2020. Now, the Washington Redskins have a brand new head coach. They have a new president of the whole operation over there. I'm assuming that they're going to start anew here with Dwayne Haskins moving forward. So you can bank on the fact that if Alex Smith can run and throw and play football still, he is going to be a highly sought after quarterback. Now, other teams are going to want guarantees that he's healthy. Other teams are going to want guarantees that he can perform his duties as a high caliber NFL quarterback who's going to be paid $21 million next year. His contract still calls for. But $21 million is about 15, 16 in the salary list of starting quarterbacks. So it's good value on your money. He's a veteran quarterback who could be, you could look at it as a guy who might not be able to play as good. I would say rested and rehabbed and recovered after a horrific, brutal. He could end up anywhere. We said the Chicago Bears. That would make sense because it might be like the Chicago Bears are looking for a new quarterback. Michael Lombardi, former GM of the Cleveland Browns and other things, says that there's no way Pace will cut ties with Trubisky. He's kind of going down with the ship like it's a Titanic because everybody knows Trubisky was drafted ahead of Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, who's potentially going to be a Super Bowl champ and also make $200 million in the next offseason. So the thought that maybe he doesn't end up at the Bears because maybe the Bears aren't even looking for anybody. But Alex Smith could end up anywhere. Alex Smith to the Cincinnati Bengals, you go, that makes sense. Alex Smith to the Indianapolis Colts, you go, that makes sense. Alex Smith to the New England Patriots, if Tom Brady leaves, that makes sense. Alex Smith and Tom Brady are basically in the same conversation right now of, I could see them being quarterback for that team. They could be quarterback for that team. And the New England Patriots are a shared team that could potentially have Tom Brady or Alex Smith, as are the Raiders. If John Gruden wants to make a move, Alex Smith and Tom Brady. The Colts, Alex Smith and Tom Brady are a chance. The Bengals, Alex Smith and Tom Brady are a chance. You look even at the Dolphins aren't going to bring in Alex Smith for Ryan Fitzpatrick. No way.
Panthers, maybe?
Panthers are potentially in shop for Alex Smith or Tom Brady. Right now, Alex Smith and Tom Brady are the potential starting quarterbacks for like 8 to 9 teams in the NFL next year.
Even Tampa Bay. You think about, are you going to pay Jameis 30 or 35, or you get Alex Smith for 21?
And Alex Smith, by the way, there's supposedly mutual interest between Phillip Rivers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, when I talked to, I forget who we talked to. Maybe it was AQ Shipley. I don't know. Bruce Arians' offense, I guess, is incredibly complicated. It is an offense that you have to very much understand the concepts and the schemes and this and that. So you're going to have to get a heady quarterback. Now, with that being said, Jameis threw for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns because that's what Bruce Arians' offense is, though. But he also threw for 30 interceptions. Maybe it's because of the concepts being a little bit difficult, knowing not to throw somewhere whenever you're not supposed to. But there's supposedly mutual interest between Phillip Rivers and the Buccaneers. I think that's the only place where Phillip Rivers comes into play. But everywhere else, Alex Smith is this guy that nobody is really talking about. He could potentially be a guy somewhere, and I'm excited to kind of see that redemption story for old Alex Smith and his leg. Well, hello there. Utilize the promo code PAYTHEBILLS and get $20 off your first order from SeatGeek. Now, back to the magic.
His last season as a starting quarterback, he threw for 26 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Yes. That's where they're like, well, he's a game manager.
But
he's a game manager. He's not going to win the game for you. He's not going to lose the game for you. It's like, that's every single quarterback. That's literally every single quarterback. What are we even talking about here?
Think about how good Mahomes was in practice to get rid of a quarterback that was 26 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
I used to think about that a lot. Like back in the day with the Packers, when Aaron Rodgers was running scout team, Think about what they used to do to that Packers defense, I bet. Then you think about what Patrick Mahomes used to do to that Kansas City Chiefs defense, and then they're finally like, the entire defense is like, we've been telling you, hey, because they're probably getting chewed out at practice. Like, how are you doing this? Just wait till somebody else has to face this guy. Then he got to start because they were so good. They were resting Alex Smith the last game of the season in Denver. Patrick Mahomes gets to start, wins in Denver. So what they saw in practice and what they saw in that game, they were like, this guy's the guy. We can get rid of Alex Smith, who just almost had an MVP season, and everybody was like, you dummies. I even said it. Well, what a stupid, this Alex Smith is finally hitting his prime here, and you guys get rid of him. It's like, oh, the next guy is there. Oh, that makes sense, and that's what Patrick Mahomes has proved. But Alex Smith will be an upgrade at a lot of places.
It would make sense for him to be a stopgap at a bunch of places too, because like you said, you get a couple of these teams who are going to draft a rookie quarterback. Like, I mean, granted, Patrick Mahomes is unbelievable, but Alex Smith obviously helped in his development. You know, I mean, like that's a good guy to sit behind.
Didn't even think about that. Yeah, Alex Smith has been there, done that with everything. I mean, controversy with the Aaron Rodgers situation.
Yeah.
Literally immediately from Jump Street, he gets drafted to the Niners. I think Kaepernick
Lost his job when Kaepernick came in.
Lost his job to Kaepernick. He's been a backup. He's been a starter, and then he started getting into his prime there in that Andy Reid offense. And you think Andy Reid and Matt Nagy have a bit of a connection. That would be an interesting little thing that's an interesting storyline that has not been talked about by anybody. Alex Smith could be all the way back next year.
Is he similar? Well, I know the age difference is much different.
He's 36.
But Teddy Bridgewater had a terrible injury and then had to go and prove himself as a backup. But I don't think Alex will have to do that because of the age.
Well, I think both of those I think Teddy Bridgewater and Alex Smith, both MVP conversations, right? When Teddy Bridgewater got hurt, everybody on earth was expecting Teddy Bridgewater to take over the NFL that next year. Honestly, like maybe not everybody on earth, but everybody in the NFL was like excited for the Teddy Bridgewater era that was potentially about to happen because of how fast his stock was rising. Then that horrific injury happens that rattles the entire NFL. We heard about it at our practice. We were like, damn. So it's one of those situations where, yeah, I think those are pretty comparable, though. I really do. But the thing about Teddy Bridgewater is he's not being forgotten, right?
No.
Teddy Bridgewater that entire time. He signed with the Jets for $500,000 guarantee.
A little bit forgotten.
I mean, he didn't get a lot of respect in the market. I think Alex Smith has been around longer, so that's why he'll probably get a little bit more consideration. But I think those are two very comparable conversations.
At that cap number, could you afford to even bring him in as a backup quarterback?
No, not at $21 million. That's a lot. I think the highest was, $8 million this year or $7 million?
But it also could be where nobody is going to trade for him because the Redskins – I don't know if they cut him to save $10 million this year. That's
because there's dead cap of $9 million or whatever, which is
That
the signing bonus in front that they still have to pay for. I don't know. I'll be very, very excited to see how this all plays out. Good for Alex Smith.